primary struggle has just been getting people to even know what forced arbitration is, right? And it's one of those topics where you just say the word arbitration and people's eyes glaze over. So my number one task coming on 2 years ago was to try to rebrand it, to try to talk about it in a different way. I'm Amanda Werner, better known as the Monopoly Man. I'm also the campaign manager for Public Citizen and Americans for Financial Reform. I've always been a pretty irreverent person. I've always tried to use kind of humor to make a point, but I hadn't actually done too much humor in my kind of professional work since I got to DC and really became more of a, policy wonk. It's funny, I feel like I've spent so long kind of trying to make myself fit in the policy world, and it turns out that what was actually going to really draw attention to my work was leaning in more to my comedic and irreverent side. So, here's a get out of jail free card, or perhaps money. Did I give it straight to the senator? We went around to all 100 Senate offices and dropped off these get out of jail free cards. And as part of that, we decided to have me dress up as the Monopoly Man just to bring a little levity to it, have a little bit of fun, and just kind of make fun of these guys to their face. And of course, having the character of the Monopoly Man just to show how disconnected these billionaire CEOs are from the rest of us. Having that new kind of humor and something else to offer really helped elevate it in a way that I think a lot of people wouldn't have predicted.
You may have seen our next guest during the Senate Banking Committee hearing on Equifax. Amanda Werner is our guest. That was an extremely effective costume, and you made a big splash at the hearings there. Congratulations on that.
It's funny, for the first time in 2 years, I think my parents actually learned what I was working on, and it stuck. Pretty much every time we talk, I'd have to explain what arbitration was again. But this time, they get it. I think we need all different types of protest, from the really serious to this kind of ridiculous, off-the-wall, funny stuff. But I think that there is a certain level of protection that taking the humorous path will get you, because it's just going to make them look much sillier than you. I just need you to know that the security guy just came over to me and he told me if I lift the bag of money, I will be arrested. Because it will be a symbol of protest. So I think we're definitely seeing a whole different level of crackdown on these kind of things. I think we've seen some really alarming crackdowns, with disabled activists getting literally pulled out of Congress. I very much worry what's going to happen, and I think we're only in the beginning of it. One thing I've found interesting about the response to Monopoly Man is just how widespread and bipartisan it is. And I think it really speaks to these issues, again, about Wall Street, about corporate power, and people just wanting a little more control over their lives. I have an aunt who's a big fan of Glenn Beck, very, very conservative. She and I have clashed on political issues for years and actually weren't really talking recently, especially with Trump. And she now tells me regularly how proud she is of me for the Monopoly Man. The vast majority of the Americans, Republican or Democrat, actually support us on these particular issues. And so I hope that we'll all come together and keep organizing and be able to win these fights in the future.
That's right.